Roblox, full of thousands of games in the modern day. But what was it like back in the good old days? Well, it's full of games still. Hey, wouldn't it be cool if someone decided to make a gender command with a structural hierarchy with the ability to centralize power to make people worship you to the point where it'd be considered being a cult? No. The story starts in July 30th, 2009, where Roblox gave us the ability to create Roblox Groups, which thousands were made within the first few months, where notably the user called 𝘎𝘼𝘼𝘎𝘼𝘎𝘼 created a Roblox group called Roblox SWAT Team, and it's notably the 1000th ever group made. Its ranks are very basic, with them being labeled as group leaders, which is said to be one of the first ever non-clan Roblox groups, which what seems to be a hierarchy. But what are these clans? These are called super clans, also referred to as the Big Three due to its size in comparison to other Roblox clans. The Roblox group called the First Encounter Assault Recon, or just FEAR, is a raw group on Roblox, and it just used to be the Roblox group with the highest member count. And they had a really large acclaim, not because of its status, but because of its realism. Well, I say this, but realism is... that's besides the point. They were the first sort of group to adopt the good old words you hear on a day-to-day basis, like the usage of Roblox faces, jumping jacks, and combat training. The owner called Sonic the Hedgehog XX kind of ruined its reputation, however. He used to inject exploits to steal assets from other games. For example, his competitors, to allow his own game to be the best. And better yet, you know how I said it used to be the largest group for 4 years? Well, because he used to bot his group to increase its member count. Oh, and by the way, subscribe or you'll get 2 weeks of constant rain. Now, where was I? Ah, yes, how could I ever forget? Sword fighting. Sword fighting was a major part during Roblox's earliest stages, to the point where the Roblox admins created different factions to fight against each other, most notably Knights of Redcliffe and Roblox, where there was literal lore set up by its staff, similar to what we have nowadays. It consisted a lot of sword fighting with some fantasy behind it, like mages. This lasted up until 2013 to 2014, until all of the lore was completely stopped and the clanning was halted forever. October 1st, 2013. Roblox released something called Developer Exchange, or DevX for short. This allowed any successful Roblox developer to exchange Robux into real money, which resulted in business, power, politics, empire, cults, society. Is that a thing? Yes. But not for Roblox groups. This made Roblox game developers a lot more richer, which on top of that allows them to hire more people for their games. However, Roblox groups like sword fighting or future tops were becoming super old-fashioned, and with an older community that wouldn't want to progress and a newer community that could spark life into it but wouldn't play older games, sword fighting and future tops started to go stale, with more mainstream games becoming more popular. Now, this seems like a sad end for Roblox role-playing groups with no good ending, albeit eventually change. Everything starts with Abellino Fernandez. On May 2nd, 2015, he created USM 1940s. Isn't that just mad? This is what the map looks like, and it looks really, really terrible, doesn't it? And that's because it was over 10 years ago. The only funding it got was like stuff for the development and the map. Not a lot was put into the group for advertisements, so the member count was actually really low. Now, someone within the ranks of his army called Eric Ritter decided to buy the group of Abellino because he saw the potential of USM. By the way, if you want to join my Discord server where we do really cool stuff such as like recording together, you may as well just join. It's in the link in the description down below. This video is sponsored by Military Roleplay Community. These guys help you get started on making Roblox groups. They sell really cheap technology to help you get started. You can even get free GFX in this server. Isn't that crazy? Investors, groups selling, map buying, developers, every single one of your needs to start a project that will make your friends or even a massive community love your ideas. Check down below for more information. Now, where was I? Oh yes. Essentially speaking, a guy made a Roblox group called the US Military 1940s, which sparked a number of different groups surrounding real-world things like the British Army, US Army, even cafe games. Now, this was an extremely smart thing since kids love the idea of being a cool soldier or or a barista, I guess, which they're obviously not old enough to do, so the next best bet would be Roblox. Additionally speaking, this is where Roblox YouTubers like me, 𝘎𝘼𝙍𝘼𝙎𝘾, Root Media, Plastic Scott, and 𝘎𝑼𝑎𝑐, with a bunch of different ones as well, would start playing these type of games for the very first time. At first, these groups seem harmless on the outside, which it's just a silly role-playing game, but on the inside, there's been times where high-ranking members or even owners of these groups love the idea of to 4-year-olds, which is, you know, diabolical. And it's crazy because this is still quite a prevalent problem within Roblox, which Roblox seems to be doing absolutely nothing about it, which is unfortunate. Now, not all things are bad about these groups, though. They seem to bring a super creative insight of different types of events instead of the usual combat trainings and raids. They have stuff like operations, patrols, inspections, ceremonies, and sometimes if the group is sat in their court cases. Isn't that crazy? Throughout the mid-2010s, hundreds of these groups start to pop up, which this caused the old Big Three to be completely displaced by the new Big Three. The US military 1940s, the British Army, and the imperialist Robloxian Federation, all of which replicate something that happened in real life. Now, what about the rest of these groups that didn't seem to take off just as well as the Big Three? Well, they started joining games like the Group Recruiting Plaza, or nowadays Plaza Connect, to act like a free billboard to those who couldn't afford it. Now, whilst it didn't do quite as well as bigger groups that use adverts that Roblox game owners put out, which is the stuff that you'd see on the side of your screen, people within these smaller communities actually tend to be more content to the idea of a smaller community. With that being said, the Big Three is still going strong presently after 10 entire years on being on the platform. COVID-19 saw the rebirth of what once was quite literally a dead genre, the Napoleonic Wars era. At first, it had quite a rough start and never really gained traction compared to the more mainstream groups. However, a group of people, specifically someone called 𝘎𝑼𝘼𝙍𝘼𝙎𝘾, got together to create an entire overhaul of the brand, making it into one of the highest acclaimed subgenres on Roblox. With this, however, brought a much younger audience, and mixing that in between what is quite usually a chilled environment could go very wrong.
Just stay in line! Oh my god! Press 2, you fucking A! Get in line! Press 2! Dog! To the right! Face the right! What the fucking shit is wrong with you? Oh my god! Who shut the fucking gate? You get the fucking press. Oh my fucking god! No, face the right!
Where does that lead us now? Well, it's 2025. There's a lot more brain rot games now that monetization is, you know, a thing now. But there's also a lot of games like Teutonia, Octavium, US military 1940s, who strive to keep things into perfection.